Congratulations! You are at the right place at the right time to start your day with a lightning bolt of energy. Most news programming, morning talk shows, or other podcasts are not launching you into your day or accessing even a fraction of your greatness and potential. If you want more money in less time with more magic, and if you want to find what works to scale your sales and business with the actionable formula of formulas, then the Unblinded Huddle is the #1 way to start your day with an infusion of integrity-based human influence. With your host, Sean Callagy, and the Unblinded team, and the entire Unblinded movement.
What is happening, Unblinded ecosystem? Happy Why Wednesday. Mr. Callagy, how are you?
I am wonderful. We are moving together, as has been the norm the last few mornings, and now we are stabilized and sitting, so we're not making anybody dizzy. So good morning, everybody. Happy Why Wednesday. Vivian, you out there?
I am.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm fantastic. How are you?
Great. What is present for you, Vivian?
Well, this is the more we get and we roll up our sleeves to what we're doing here, the more I discover that there's a lot to learn and so many areas of improvement and so much listening that needs to happen, and how, like, just participating in the role play lately, it's like, how do I better describe when you ask me what's present? Just that little part. It's like, oh my God, I need one word. I still get confused as to what I'm supposed to say. So I need to sharpen. And so I'm happy to be a part of it, but I'm also terrified, but I'm happy that by doing it, I'm seeing something more.
Yeah, no, it's awesome. And I think it's also just about being our heart and having fun. So it's like, just what you're feeling. So as you're on this call, that's Why Wednesday this morning, what are you feeling?
Oh my God.
First feeling, like, and this is a huge access point for everybody. Just first feeling. What are you feeling?
I'm feeling hopeful.
Awesome. Hopeful about what?
Hopeful that I will be able to open up the way that you say. Hopeful that I don't even know. Like, I guess I've never been part of something like big like this. So to me, I'm feeling hopeful that I'm being understood a little bit more. And so that makes me feel good.
Awesome. And so I'm hearing that you may be closing yourself. This is for everybody now. Good morning to everybody. It's Why Wednesday. I'm hearing that you may be closing yourself off at some level and holding back, and maybe even playing a role. Am I hearing that or no? In certain respects of maybe what you're doing here and maybe other places.
Well, I don't know if I'm playing a role as much as I'm trying to, obviously when you go up on camera and you're talking to people, you want to be understood and you want to be heard and you want people to feel your heart. But it's so, when you have so many things that have gone on in your life, it's hard to disseminate what is the right thing to share. So you have to be discerning. So.
Love it. Okay. How about this? Just what's present for you and you're most excited about in your life right now? Like, what are you most excited about in life?
I'm excited that I'm excited about a lot of things. I've spent a lot of time traveling and being busy, not only for the sake of being busy, but because my life has always been defined by that. And I always thought I was going somewhere as a result of it. And now that we're on lockdown, it has forced me to sit with my emotions. It has forced me to sit and think more clearly about where I'm headed. So I'm looking forward to finding more beautiful people that are willing to share their story with me, that I can share my story with, and that together we can make the world a more inclusive place.
Oh, that's awesome. And super grateful the time that you're spending with us and making incredible stuff happen. Just stay in your heart and be your energy is infectious. It's incredible. And sometimes that attempt to be super discerning could break that flow, and your flow is extraordinary. So just don't be anybody different here or on the role play or anywhere than exactly who you are. Just be in your heart and have fun and go with whatever flows, and we'll take it from there. Fair deal?
Yeah.
Awesome. So for today, Fernando, really quickly, how are you?
I'm doing well. I am excited. I love what Vivian said. My 5D listening is there. And I will mention one is we're rolling up our sleeves. We are rolling up our sleeves. Things are becoming clear. That is language of unblinding. That is language of sharpening. So that brings me the greatest joy. And that's what we're doing here, folks. We are having fun. We are supporting each other, and we're getting to work. This is not about learning. It's about doing and measuring. And that's the conversation. That is what I'll be shifting us to, is beautiful. I love it. I love the fire emojis. I love what you're learning. More importantly, I care about what you're measuring and what you're doing. That's my focus.
So in the chat, what I would love to challenge with, and Vivian, please, and Fernando, both stay live, because we're bringing in more energy, variety to the show, right? Each day. So what we're looking to create is this reality for this morning. We want to talk about disposable income. And in everybody in the chat, if you have a desire to have more disposable income that you could spend on trips, on gifts, on experiences, on saving for your retirement exponentially, building a second home, a first home, a car, buying a new business, buying a plane, whatever that is. What I mean by disposable income would be the income you're making that pays all the bills that you normally spend, whatever trips you normally take, whatever normal life is now. And then increasing it has an incredible impact. But first, if you want to create more disposable income, let's hit a yes in the chat and then share why. And I don't mean why on a deep emotional level, because we talk a lot of depth of emotion. I mean, practically. Be like, yo, dude, I want a Ferrari. I want my first car. I want to buy this Lear jet, sick, so I could fly around the world wherever I want. What's the next disposable income item that you want to have? And for those of you, it's your first day in the huddle, we've not communicated this way. And what became present to me as I'm working on my own skills and impact and talking with our team and Jared and Adam and Fernando, they're like, things are amazing, but sometimes you could flow into a little bit of abstractness and depth of emotion and the conceptual. And Fernando, you want to speak to that point? And, some of what you shared with me yesterday, and I don't even want the direct comparison that you made, right, in name, because it would be beyond anything I'd ever want to be compared to. So thank you. But just conceptually, how we want to drill down to the super practical now. You want to share?
Yes. So I believe I am tracking. And what I'm saying is or what we're speaking about, better said, is that there's a lot of galvanized energy. There's a lot of excitement. There's a lot of, I see my future here. This is the place. I found it. There's this euphoria. There's this attraction. And I love that. And, it's a beautiful place to begin. Frankly, it's where I began. I was like, oh my God, there's something here. This Sean guy, he's interesting. He's different. And then I quickly realized, and Sean says it all the time, Sean's not here for us to love him. Sean, we're not here to love Sean. And we don't, Sean doesn't want that to stop. And we want to continue to love each other. That all feels good. But we're here to create. We're here because we want more. We're here because we want things. And it's not selfish to claim them, to own them, to step into them, to declare them, and to, more importantly, measure and do them. This is not vision boarding. This is not let's speak it into existence and manifestation. This is all those things, and go get it. What must be done? How many ecosystems are you merging? Why are you speaking with them? How are you leveraging Unblinded? Don't come here simply for the attraction and the energy and the motivation, the camaraderie. All that is beautiful, yes. Come here and use us. Use us. Sean wants to go to God when he's dead, and he wants to look him in the eye and feel like he was used in this world and gave all his talents. We want you to use Unblinded. We want you to love us. We love the comments. I love the testimonials. We cry about them. I don't share it as often. I love this stuff. I love the language. It brings me great joy. I want to see you win. I want things. You want things. And we're here for you. We work hard. We wake up early. We innovate like crazy so that you can use us to get the things you want. That's winning for me, winning for Sean, Adam, and Jared. That's winning for Unblinded. Winning is not, we taught, we inspired, we motivated. That's a level. That's not winning. What are you doing? What are you getting? What are you measuring?
Let's talk a practical, fun awareness to bring it into place. So hopefully, again, one more time, put in the chat, like write it. The act of writing has an impact on your brain. Typing it, writing it, but type it in, like leverage it, put it out there publicly. What do you want? And it goes like this. My experience of 23 years in business has led to this conclusion. Whether somebody makes $100,000 a year or $1 million or $2 million, they tend to spend, most people tend to spend virtually all of it, okay? Virtually all of it. The differential, what I want to talk about now, I want to create our own unique definition of disposable income, our unblinded definition. We're going to define it as like the pre-unblinded disposable income and post. So right now, all we're talking about in terms of actual disposable income is what you save. I'm not asking you to write that publicly, but like have that number in your mind, write on a piece of paper next to you. Like how much do you save? Put away, invest, okay? We're gonna categorize that as your current disposable income amount, right? And what we wanna do is say, whatever that number is, let's say it's 1,000 a year, 10,000 a year, 100,000 a year, $1 million a year, whatever the number is. And for some, I guarantee you all those numbers are represented on this phone call, including the million, right? So I can't guarantee it, but I'd be pretty confident. So what we want to talk about from here though is when you think of increasing your amount of sales and you increase your amount of sales by $100,000, right? Or let's say you double your amount of sales. A lot of people think that doubles their disposable income, but it doesn't do that. So if you grow your sales, right, and you have net profit increase of 100%, you double your net profit increase by 100%, okay? For most of you, since you're spending somewhere, if you're like normal Americans, between 90 and 100% of your income, your disposable, the current amount you're saving, let's say is about 10%, probably less for most people on this call, honestly, or actually, but let's say it's 10%. And now you've increased your sales doubling your net profits. Now, for many of you, if you doubled your sales, you do a lot more than doubling your net profits. And that's because you have other fixed expenses in your business, like your assistant, like your whole company, whatever it is, right? But if you double your revenue from most, you increase your net profit by a lot more than double. But let's assume you're only doubling, right? Which is virtually impossible. But let's assume that's the reality. And so now you've taken your profits from X, right, to 2X, but you're only saving 10% of X. You only have disposable 10% of X. So if you now double that number, you've increased your disposable income by 10 times. If it's 1,000 a year, now it's 10,000 a year. If it's 10,000 a year, that's 100,000 a year. If it's 100,000 a year, now it's $1 million a year. That's what's occurred for most of you if you're saving about 10% of your income and then you double your sales. You 10x your sales, you've now 100x'd your disposable income. Like let that land. So if it was 1,000, it's now 100,000. If it was 10,000, now it's $1 million. Okay. So let's stay in the space though of just doubling your sales to somewhere, I think at a minimum for most, you're 10 extra disposable income, but let's even assume at 5 extra disposable income. What does that create for you? Just tangibly, not the feelings, not the pride, the connection, which we always talk about. Very practically. Is it your first home? Is it a car? Is it hiring an assistant? So you have to do all the stuff you're doing before. Is it the beach home like I did in 2 years from startup that I'm sitting in? that I had tears pouring down my face as I held my son on the roof and walk up on that roof every day that I'm down here, and then in the ocean and back, and then create enough disposable income to have a second one. So I have another 8 bedrooms on the beach, 4 bedrooms up, 4 bedrooms down. Some of you stayed in those homes. So I had 3 homes for my children and children's children, so they can all come here together as I'm older, in my older age, and after I'm gone. So they all have a space to be together as a part of my legacy. Is it that you want to bring your family on a trip? Like, I had the privilege of bringing my family to Grand Cayman and had my grandmother in the ocean, the Caribbean, for the first time in her life, who never made more than $25,000 in a year, and had her children, my aunts, my mom, all their spouses, their children, my first cousins, and my first cousin's children, 4 generations at the Ritz-Carlton Grand Cayman, and sat and got to look my grandmother in the eye, right? Hold her hand, be hugged by her, and have tears pouring down as she thanked me. And I said, called her Nani, you're thanking me? Giving you this is nothing in comparison to everything you've given me. So when you hear us Zeused up talking about numbers and ecosystems and sales meetings, and then you hear us say magic and you're trying to put them together, that's how they get put together. Your disposable income increases. Your time freedom gets leveraged by people you hire and scale. And then you're sitting there with people in my family who could never have dreamt of having the money to go take their 5 kids on a trip to the Caribbean. Like, one of my cousins has 5 kids, and they're jumping in and riding the swans in the pool at the Ritz-Carlton. And then they're with the dolphins, and we'll get into animal rights and right or wrong. But in that moment, I wasn't thinking animal rights. Whatever that means, it means about me. What I was thinking about is watching Jordan at 5 years old, like holding a dolphin in the water and screaming with glee, or being in Stingray City and having the stingrays bouncing around, hitting everybody, and the kids scared and laughing and like finding their courage and then feeding them. I don't want to feed them. It's scary. No, holding, crying, pulling back. And then okay, I'll let you hold me while we touch one and then feed the stingray. Or being at Rackham's in Grand Cayman when it's like, do we go in at night with the tarpon, like into the Caribbean? Like, will we do that? Like, no, like, I'm afraid. Like, no, let's do it. Okay, will we swim out to the raft? No, maybe the next night when we come back to Rackham's for dinner the second time. Maybe I'll do it then, not yet. And having all of those magical moments and magical memories, which has made every sacrifice in doing the things I don't want to do and are comfortable doing, has made every one of the sacrifices not even a question in my mind whether it's worth it, which is why I'm still getting up in the morning so we can unlock those for you, whatever is more for you. And that's why when you hear me volcanically on fire, it's the place it comes from, because I know what's on the other side of our self-influence and process mastery rising are those moments. And don't even get me started on what I've experienced with my children. When I cried, when my daughter, Courtney, was afraid, not afraid of sharks, but afraid of boats and its own whole complex discussion, because she was an incredible scuba diver still, but only wanted to shore dive, but we couldn't shore dive with sharks. And all of a sudden, I'm down the bottom waiting for her to come down as she's being supported by her sister, Emma, and one of the dive masters. So it wasn't like a dad-daughter thing. And we're at the bottom of the Caribbean in the Bahamas, and we're there surrounded by 40 sharks. Maybe not your idea of fun, but holding my children as they're all 14 and under, and tears are pouring through my mask as I experience the magic of my daughter breaking through a massive fear. And we have a memory forever and endless amounts of them. That's what you increasing your sales meetings, your ecosystem mergers, and your sales to have more disposable income, how rapidly those things happen. Vivian, what's present for you?
I just spent, sorry, I was on mute. I need to dream bigger, because as you were being so visual describing everything that you experience for your future, I realized that somewhere along the line I just got stuck. Let me just do this. Let me make this show happen. And I just get stuck on the smaller details instead of thinking about not even bigger. I know what my why is. I just want to dedicate and give, but to think of the sweet things. And I think I am terrified of like what that would look like. And I don't know why. I guess I feel like maybe I shouldn't ask for more. And like I've already been given so many wonderful gifts. And so I guess I have a lot of limiting beliefs, I guess.
Yeah, and that's a beautiful awakening to those limiting beliefs. And I'm not telling anybody that you should want to be the person to take 40 people in your family or 100 people in your company to the Ritz-Carlton Grand Cayman. I'm not saying that that should be your dream, right? What I am saying is we all have a wanting for more. And that's why we're here. And those things you wrote down. And for me, at one point, it was to buy a house, right? To buy my house. And it was scary. And I had debt from law school, and I was living in an apartment, and then I just quit my job, and I was beginning to make a little bit of money. As I first started the law firm, I was petrified. And then when I bought that house, the certainty, the security, the stability, the feeling it gave me about what I was capable of creating was utterly mind-blowing, if not addictive. And my life purpose became to unlock these things for myself, my family, my loved ones, and then people in the world. And that's what's at stake. Fernando, what say you?
What say I? What I say is, once again, what are we measuring? What are we doing? What is this why? And what I'm getting right now, what I'm present to, let's like step into it, is getting less romantic with the why. And what I say is beach house. Like that means way more than a beach house, but it's a beach house. It was one specific goal. It was the heart of your family. It was all these different things. It became the ceiling. You have Tyler, first birthday, the beach every day. It became, and you had that vision. You were very clear. First was beach house. First is beach house. What are we measuring? How close am I to getting this beach house? So my question to everyone again is, what are we measuring? And then what are we doing? And I'm present to keeping it simple.
Love it. Love it, brother. So listen, for all of you out there, write it down. And a big outcome for all of us is, what is the disposable income increase you are committed to creating in 2020? Go in the middle of Corona, I'm trying to survive. Like, okay, you can have that belief. I'm not, right? And I'm not coaching anybody and training anybody and leading anybody to do that. Unblinded doesn't stand for that. It stands for, okay, what if you were beyond surviving? What if you had the ability and clarity to realize the formula takes you to virtually anywhere you want to go over time, and you can keep speeding up time? What would the number be without limits and fear that you're committed to in 2020? Like, have some reasonable base, but a real stretch number, a challenge number, and capture that. Remembering that it changes your, like, as you hit the disposable income number, it's dramatically more than what you have currently, simply by doubling your sales or increasing your sales by 50%. Lock into that and let that be the driver forward when you're afraid, when you're fearful, when you're sitting in space, and move to monetization. What I find in the space of so many people in personal development is what Fernando said, the romanticized absence of monetization. I just want to touch people. I just want to make people feel like I get it, but and if you have all the money you want, wonderful. Or you've decided that you're going to lead a life of complete service and you're going to live on different people's couches or just stay in a small apartment. You could do that. Totally cool. No judgment. But and most people I don't think really want that though, but they have a difficult time reconciling because of a variety of different issues, including their relationship with money, reality that money is exchange of value and it's okay. So we're going to handle our associations to money, self-mastery, as we launch our process mastery, not forgetting about our influence mastery. So that said, We have an awesome guest for a couple minutes to chat with as well today. Do we have Mr. Nick Champagne? You there, brother?
He is not on at the moment, Sean. And I just want to give you a time check. It is 8:55. Let's see if Nick is here with us.
Nick is on now.
Awesome.
Nick, you unmuted, brother. How are you?
He is unmuted.
All right. Nick, you there, Nick?
I don't think I'm unmuted.
Yes,
There
you're.
he is.
Okay, cool.
What's up, Nick?
What's up, Sean? How are you?
Nick, if anybody knows a little something about working with people with some disposable income, I think it's Nick Champagne.
It's true.
Yeah. So how are you? And like, what do you do, Nick? So people can get the idea, and then let's drop in for a couple minutes.
So how am I? I'm doing well. I'm in New York. Living through this interesting time. What do I do? It's very much in line with everything that's been spoken about this morning. We realize people's dreams, create outstanding experiences, and help people visualize their future.
Extraordinary. And just for like scotoma creating fun, just start reeling off some of the experiences that you've helped create for people.
Some of the things that I call basic, most others would probably not agree that are basic, but trips around and throughout the world. What was that?
I would agree with that, but go ahead anyway.
Trips around and throughout the world. So, all the typical summer and winter holiday destinations throughout Europe, Greece, Mykonos, Spain, Ibiza, south of France, Monaco, Cannes, Saint-Tropez, all through the Middle East, all through Southeast Asia, all through South America, everything A to Z we create for them. Like I said, I consider that to be basic.
Fernando, Vivian, actually, does that sound basic to you?
Yes.
That sounds basic. Okay, awesome. So what would
Thank you, Vivian. We should have further conversations. I agree.
I wasn't listening, I must confess. I'm sorry.
No problem. So we said, so one more time, Nick, travel, right, is not basic. What's not basic?
Having people run with the bulls in Spain. If anyone on this call can relate to that.
Yes, I think you helped me run with the bulls in Spain.
So creating that experience for you and the guest with, an outstanding view of it, but actually running with the bulls as well. What else have we done? All sorts of things, really. All sorts of private jet experiences. Again, without sounding insensitive, I consider those basic too, because that's our everyday, right? That's aspirational for some people. So, there's friends of mine who we've helped them with their first private jet experience. That's meaningful, right? Seeing various things around the world, different landmarks.
What's your favorite place in the world, Nick?
My favorite place in the world?
To go and have like an amazing experience with loved ones that's magical for Nick.
I mean, I love going to the Middle East. I've been all throughout the Middle East. I love Paris.
Favorite place, favorite hotel. Like you could go anywhere right now in the world. Where do you go right now? What hotel, and what does that day look like?
Right now, given this situation, I think it would probably be Paris. And it would be Hotel Coast.
What's the Hotel Coast like? Why the Hotel Coast?
Because it's a good mix between, semi-luxurious, but it has that cool, edgy feel. It's, the atmosphere is fantastic. It's very social environment. It's just an awesome place. Has anyone on the call been to Hotel Coast in Paris?
If you have, hit it in the chat.
In the chat.
So let me ask this, Nick, real quick.
We'll get back to that.
Yeah, we'll come back to that. So Nick, for you, right? As you have experienced obviously a massive disruption to your business, how is that landing for you? And what are you doing to fill that time, build yourself going forward?
That's a great question, Sean. I didn't realize that my video is not on. Let me change that. Can I do that? I don't know if I could do that actually. Okay, not going to do that. That's a great question, Sean. So, our business is 80% travel and hospitality. And travel doesn't exist right now. I mean, you can travel, but people just are not. And hospitality, you can't even go to a restaurant, let alone any social gathering, any experience that we provide, access to what we provide, all the major events like, Coachella is one that was just recently canceled, that we had people going to. The Cannes Film Festival is, in a couple weeks. I don't even know what day or month it is, but it's in a couple weeks. We had people going there and that's canceled. So everything's on hold. What are we doing now? One, and most importantly, preparing for the future. What's next? I'm on Zooms and webinars every day with some of the top people in travel and luxury, CEOs and owners of companies like mine and much, much bigger, looking for what's next. What happens from here? It's travel's not going to be the same. Like, let's say in a week from now, it was like, okay, you can travel, you can go wherever you want. Would people go the same way? No, absolutely not. Would anyone even travel? Some people would. There's going to be the first movers. I think it's going to be a lot of private jets and a lot of yachts and a lot of islands and seclusion. So we're brainstorming on what that looks like internally. And, we're also looking at collaboration over competition very much. We're working with other companies right now. We're seeing what everyone thinks. We're doing a lot of think tanks and webinars and going from there. In addition, I've really focused on contribution. As you know, because you're a large supporter of it, which I thank you, I've started an initiative called Hospitality, with hospital in all caps, feeding the frontline healthcare workers. Now we're protecting them as well because we've added PPE and masks and face shields and things of that nature. But the reason, it's hospitality is that my background's in hospitality. So we are also helping the restaurants that are remaining open by, we did a fundraiser. Sean very generously donated to that fundraiser, when we're deploying those funds. But we're supporting the restaurants and food prep companies that remain open and preserving jobs. So that's been, that started out as something as innocent as anonymously sending pizza to a hospital a couple blocks away from my apartment. And now it turned into, I think as of yesterday, we've sent out over 6,100 meals just this month since April 1st. So that's, it's been a shift to contribution, but also envisioning the future. A lot of that aspirational energy that you focused on earlier in this call, in this Zoom, about, what people want, if money wasn't an object, what would you do? And factoring in the current climate, there's conflicting stories on what travel's going to be in the next months and year, and if things will ever go back to quote unquote normal. There's a lot of unknowns.
Nick, I am honored. You're a friend. You're one of the first people that I connected with in a meaningful way in the Platinum Partnership world of Tony Robbins, which I forever am grateful to and for, and continue to be, for all the incredible people I've had the privilege and honor of meeting, connecting with. We spent time together. We traveled the world together. And you've been in this very beach house, and we've hung out. And climbed on the roof of this house with Pat Melson.
May or may not have been kidnapped. Whatever.
May or
it's fine.
may not have been kidnapped to come down here. That is very true, right? So influence masters greatest. And so Nick, if anybody wants to get involved with checking out what you're up to in the world and the future of travel and experiences, as well as hospitality and supporting, how do they get in touch with Mr. Nick Champagne?
I'll put it in the chat. I'm going to put my 2 Instagram handles there. That's a good gauge of who I am and what I do, because it's kind of my life through pictures and videos. I will also put the hospitality campaign that we're doing, the GoFundMe. even if you're not in the position to donate, which I understand, it's a challenging time for a lot of people. First of all, even a little bit matters. We've gotten it down to about $5 to feed a frontline healthcare worker. So that being said, even a little bit counts, but even if you're not in the position to donate, I would really, really love for people to share this campaign and get the word out there. Again, if you're not able to, someone else might be able to. We're very transparently deploying those funds quickly. And, it means a lot to me because we get these videos, we get these texts, we get this feedback from people on the front line, and just the smiles and the gratitude. A couple of people asked me, do you really think these frontline healthcare workers need food right now? And the answer is, it's not that they need food just for nutritional value or to eat, but it's uplifting their morale. They're seeing trauma all day. We've received those messages as well. But many times they're saying when they receive these meals and these masks, etc., that it uplifts them and it changes their mindset, it changes their mentality. So I posted that in the chat. There's links there. Just copy, again, I'll post it again. Just copy that into your browser. That's also my antiquated website, which is being updated. So you can see a little bit about the company. It'll paint a picture for you. But feel free to reach out to me. I'm available on all social or in this community.
And this is not the last time today you're going to see Nick. And Nick has his hands full today because he has a wonderful and incredible person who is generally in the same conceptual space that he is. And they're going to be duking it out in the real raw, having some fun. And this guy is going to be bringing an accent, which is always complex, to be dealing with an accented person with a cool accent versus Nick. So Nick, you got your hands full, brother. But you ready to roll?
All good. Is Steve on the call right now?
He's not on the call right now, but you'll be seeing Steve this afternoon at 3 o'clock. You know what Steve's doing right now? He's like in his headphones on, full prep mode, watching every real raw play. So he's like, yeah, Nick could be on there. I'm going to be like sharpening and ready and taking him on.
Steve, I'll just say this, Steve's great. So I know Steve not very well, but I know him for a long time. We are in the same space, and Steve's a pioneer in this industry. I give him a lot of credit. He was, his company, the Blue Fish, is one of the first. But I've known him for probably about 15 years since I started the first version of my company, very organically. And he's been kind of an unofficial mentor to me. I've told him this before. But, I followed some of the things that he did early on in this business venture of mine, which in next month will be 15 years. So it's interesting. We chat periodically. I think Steve's a great guy. He does great things. So this will be fun.
Some fun today. So listen, everybody, thank you, Nick Champagne. As we take it home for today.
Sean, one thing. You mentioned that to Peter Swain that you potentially wanted him to share a video. Would you like to still do that? I have the video if yes.
You know what, actually, because I want to give that a full and appropriate treatment. So let's hold that for tomorrow. And if you're ready for integrity versus out of integrity action and moving from goddess energy and love of today into Zeus energy, Muhammad Ali meets miracle, like let's have it in the ring on the ice, then get ready for rocking and rolling tomorrow because we're coming out of the gates hard, standing for integrity and against absence of integrity in marketing and acceleration and throwing a big challenge out there. So we want to get that primed and ready for tomorrow and give it its appropriate and full treatment. So Jared, let's hold that for tomorrow if we could.
Sean, I just want to say thank you. Appreciate the time, the space, the stage, and the microphone here, and later today as well. So I also appreciate everything you do. It's great. It's nice to see what you're building here and what you've built, and to see it all come together from basically the beginning, right? I guess the beginning of the new venture. So that's awesome. Congratulations.
Thank you. Love you, brother.
Love you too, man.
All right. See you soon. All right. So Jared, any final announcements?
Final. All the links for the Real Raw today with Steve Sims and Nick Champagne are in the chat. Make sure that you register. You need to register for the Real Raws to get all of the reminders and the links each day. And outside of that, please make sure that you are signed up at www.unblindedbusinessaccelerator.com, www.unblindedbusinessaccelerator.com. We officially kick off next Friday. So next Friday is the official kickoff. You have about 10 days now to get yourself signed up, and at least 9 of your ecosystem partners as well. So the people that you want to merge with, get them signed up. This is absolutely free. It's going to be an extraordinary 6-week experience. So sign up at www.unblindedbusinessaccelerator.com. Back to you, Sean.
Yeah. And if you can find a better way to accelerate your disposable income in 2020, and getting 9 people into the business with you and following the model we talk, and please tell me about it, I'll do it. But I'm so behind this that I'm having all of the leaders at Callagy Law, as well as any attorney involved in business development, be a part of this as an absolute accelerator. So I am doing it. I believe in it. It is not something just for us, even remotely. Get your 9 people in, have them sign up and go forward. Hey, have an amazing Wednesday. Thanks.
Now it's time to break through and crush fear and distortion. What is the one zone action step that will help you most today to make more money in less time and with more magic, and contribute value to the Unblinded ecosystem? After you crush it, then head over to our private Facebook community at www.unblindedmovement.com to share your big win for the day. If you feel great about the Unblinded Huddle, please share your win for today and any questions you may have for us, along with a 5-star review so we can reach more like-minded people like you. And if you have not already subscribed, please visit www.unblindedhuddle.com to be part of our live ecosystem audience for each morning huddle so that we can help you see what you don't see about the fun, excitement, and magic of exponentially growing your sales.